We've all been there. You write out a simple list of tasks for the day, and within an hour, you feel completely crushed by the sheer weight of what you have to do. Or maybe you find yourself pacing the room, agonizing over how to start a basic phone call or respond to a straightforward message. And then there's the classic trap, sitting there staring at a glowing screen, swiping through endless feeds, while the time you need to finish your work is literally running out. Here's the strange part about all of this. Every healthy human is born with the exact same basic hardware, roughly 100 billion neurons. Yet some people can sit down and effortlessly execute complex projects, while others spend hours fighting their own brains to just start typing. The answer lies in how two specific regions of your brain interact. At the front, you have the prefrontal cortex, or PFC. This is the brain's logical CEO, built for planning and sustained focus. Deep in the center is the limbic system, the primitive, impulse-driven engine that only cares about immediate comfort. When you procrastinate, your logical CEO hasn't forgotten the deadline. Instead, the primitive limbic system overpowers the PFC, demanding cheap, immediate dopamine and forcing you to avoid effort at any cost. We often view chronic distraction as a personal flaw, but the biology suggests your prefrontal cortex is simply losing a high-stakes arm wrestling match. Reclaiming that control requires a specific 5-step training regimen to strengthen the logical brain's defenses. Step 1 targets a specific region of the PFC called the frontopolar area. Its entire job is calculating future outcomes and figuring out how to execute long-term plans. You can strengthen this area by forcing your brain to make precise predictions. Next time you make a to-do list, write a hard time estimate next to every single task. Set a timer and race against it. The better you get at predicting your own behavior, the stronger this neural network becomes. Step 2 requires training your brain in pattern recognition. The PFC must be able to look at an overwhelming, chaotic situation and instantly break it down into manageable, logical pieces. Engaging with jigsaw puzzles is a foundational method for training spatial pattern recognition. It forces the brain to analyze how disparate, fragmented parts eventually fit into a larger structural whole. Logic games like crosswords provide the same benefit for structural reasoning. They require your PFC to cross-reference multiple constraints simultaneously to find a logical fit within a fixed system. We see the same cognitive demand in this photograph of the 1982 Rubik's Cube World Championship. Rapid spatial manipulation requires the brain to hold a mental image of a desired outcome while executing a complex sequence of physical moves. There is quantitative proof that these habits work. Studies show a 17% difference in neural efficiency between the brains of average individuals and those who regularly solve complex puzzles, like the person filling out this Sudoku grid. Estimating task times and solving logic puzzles are not just leisure activities. Biologically, they are mandatory exercises that sharpen the frontopolar area's ability to navigate complex systems and predict upcoming challenges. Step 3 moves to language, specifically targeting Broca's area within the PFC. This region acts as a biological bottleneck, taking swirling, abstract thoughts and translating them into concrete words. When you force yourself to speak, write, or explain a complex idea out loud, you are doing heavy neural lifting. This process directly untangles messy thoughts, forcing clarity and strengthening the PFC's control over your internal narrative. Saying no to a distraction relies on a physical interaction between nodes in your brain. Every time you feel the urge to check your phone and successfully say no, this exact network thickens. You are building a more efficient biological wall against distractions. By articulating your thoughts clearly and aggressively denying cheap distractions, you are actively building the prefrontal cortex's primary defensive shields against a chaotic limbic system. The final step of the boot camp uses the body to trick the brain. The PFC controls two key movement centers, the visual eye field and the primary motor cortex. You can train the visual eye field through the candle test. By maintaining a rigid, unbroken gaze on a single flame without letting your eyes dart around, you physically strengthen networks responsible for sustained attention. To engage the primary motor cortex, you just need to move. Physical exercise is directly tied to the brain's motivation chemistry, triggering immediate spikes of dopamine. So here is a highly practical hack. When your motivation hits zero, stand up. Aggressively swing your arms back and forth for just 60 seconds. This sudden burst of movement leverages the link between the motor cortex and dopamine release, providing a rapid boost to your baseline motivation. When your mental willpower is completely depleted and you can't focus on the work, physical movement serves as an emergency biological override switch to jumpstart the prefrontal cortex. Chronic procrastination does not mean you are permanently broken or naturally lazy. It simply means your prefrontal cortex is out of shape. You have the tools to fix it. Start timing your daily tasks. Decode spatial and logic puzzles. Articulate your complex thoughts out loud. Practice the neural no, and use physical movement to hack your dopamine levels. Implementing these 5 habits acts as a daily, rigorous workout. Day by day, you are shifting power away from your impulsive instincts and transferring it to your logical, planning mind. Over time, the internal battle gets quieter. When the impulse to doom scroll hits, your brain has the structural strength to shut it down with authority and turn back to the work that actually matters. Deep focus and unshakable discipline are not genetic gifts handed out at birth. They are biological muscles, and it is entirely up to you to build them.